Okay, real talk. You just finished crocheting something and it looks amazing, except for all of these ends. Yeah, the dreaded ends. If you've ever put off finishing a project just because of this step, you're not alone. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to weave in your ends so they stay hidden, stay secure, and never come loose, even after washing. So let's get into it. Hello and welcome back. I'm Ezra from Essie.Crochets. If you're new here, stick around. I think you're going to love this one. All you need for this is your finished project, your yarn tail, and I recommend leaving at least 6 inches so you can cut it up. Sew it in and then cut the remainder off, and a yarn needle. That's it. No fancy tools required. Before we dive in, here's why this step actually matters. A lot of beginners just tie a knot and cut. I totally get it. It feels like it's a lot of work. But knots can come loose over time, especially when you wash your project. Weaving in your ends the right way distributes the tension across multiple stitches, which keeps everything locked in place. Okay, so let's begin. Step 1, you want to thread your needle. So I'm just gonna grab any of those ends and I am gonna get it through my yarn needle. If you're struggling to get your ends through the eye of the needle, I would say a quick tip is to bend it like this or like fold it in half and then thread that part through the yarn needle. It works every time. This is what I do every single time. I don't try to get it through by force. Okay. And then now you want to be working on the wrong side. Obviously, all of my ends are already on the wrong side just because I know that's where it should be. And now I'm just gonna start weaving in. So we want to go in one direction for about an inch. That's like 5 or 6 stitches. And just gonna go at it like under the back of the stitch basically, so it doesn't show on the front. So I'm just going right here and then right here. And then you want to flip it and make sure you're not seeing anything on the right side. So to go in that direction for about an inch, maybe 5 or 6 stitches. And then let's say you've gotten to the end, right? This is the secret. You can just keep going in one direction, but that does not lock it in. So what you want to do is basically start going in a different direction. So what I do is I go down. So I'm going to flip it, go underneath the one at the bottom, and a little bit further down. These are granny stitches, so they're a lot easier to get underneath. And then when I do that, I keep going in that opposite direction for a little bit as well. And I keep checking my front to make sure I'm not seeing anything weird on the front. And then a little bit more, maybe go back up. And okay, I think I've gotten a good amount of it weaved in. So check the front one more time. If it looks clean, you're golden. And now what we want to do next is trim the excess. So this is the one that I weaved in. I am going to cut it so that there's nothing showing on the back. So Just snip that. So while you're cutting, you want to give it a little bit of a tug. Make sure that it doesn't pull through. But yeah, see? And now I'm pulling it, nothing's showing. It looks perfect. And you're done. So a couple of bonus tips before I let you go. For slippery, this is cotton, so it's definitely a lot easier to like weave in. What if you're working with acrylic? So you weave in a slightly longer section, maybe 7 to 8 stitches, since it's more likely to slip. For acrylic, you have to go in different directions because it's, again, gonna slip. So you want to make sure that it's locked in. So you just go this way, that way, then back up again, and then this way, or just keep going like in a zigzag shape. This helps with it not slipping. And if it's wool or natural fibers, you can actually split and the piles of the yarn like this. This is piled yarn. So what you do is just split it. And that also helps locking it in. It grabs on even a lot better. And then one more tip, because this is a lot of colors. Like this section was one color, but if we look at this side, that's a lot of color changes. So what you want to do is, like for an example, let's pick this blue one. If you want to move, like weave in this one, you don't want it going in the yellow section, right? It's gonna show up maybe. So you wanna be very careful. Let's like try give it a shot. Again, I'm gonna thread my needle. You wanna go in the blue section and not the yellow, because otherwise it might show up on the front. So I go this way. I'm gonna go down, and then I'm gonna go one more time in like this, and then I'm just gonna keep going for a little bit. And I'm gonna go back up. Try to like go in multiple directions as you weave. This helps a lot to lock it in. It will not come undone if you do this. If you go in one direction, it most likely will come apart when you wash it. I've done that before when I was a beginner. I've worked on a beautiful cardigan. It had multiple granny squares, and then even before I washed it, it started coming out because for one, I was like just knotting the yarn, which did not work. It was acrylic. It just slipped. And and then for the ones that I did weave in, it also did slip because I did not go in multiple directions. So yeah. And then if it comes out of your yarn needle, just like rethread it and go back up. Maybe go the opposite direction now. Like so. And again, we're gonna check the front. Everything looks fine. Nothing's poking out. Nothing looking weird. And we're done. So we can cut this one off. So I'm just gonna come again and come as close as I can to my stitches, but be very careful not to cut into my stitches, and then just snap it off. And there we go. And now I have one less end to weave in. And then I just tug it to make sure everything looks fine. Again, checking the front, and it looks perfect. All right, that's truly all there is to it. Once you do it a couple of times, it becomes like second nature. And I promise it gets a lot easier. It's just very overwhelming at the beginning. Um, if this helped you, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you're not subscribed, I'd love to have you. I post every Wednesday and Saturday, so there's always something new to look for. Drop any crochet questions in the comments below. I read every single one. Coming up on Wednesday, we're going to talk about linked double crochets. It gives you the most beautiful dense fabric with no gaps, or relatively less, a lot less gaps than double crochets usually do. And it's really, really easier than it sounds. You won't want to miss it. Happy crocheting!